There are seasons when you go quiet. Not tired exactly, not sad in any way you could explain to a doctor. You simply turn down and inward, away from everyone, into a darkness that frightens the people who love you. They call it a breakdown. You have started to believe them. There is another name for it. There is a kind of person who has always been here. They go by different names in different centuries. The cunning woman, the hermit, the witness, the seer, the exile. The world has tried more than once to be rid of them. The world has never managed it. If you carry one of these patterns you already know. Today, the hermit, the one who goes down into the dark alone and is mistaken every time for someone falling apart. Let us begin with what it looks like from the outside, because the outside is where the misunderstanding starts. Every so often something in you turns down. You stop answering messages. You cancel the things you said yes to. You move through the day at half volume and then at less than that. The colour drains out of food, out of conversation, out of work. You go into a room inside yourself and you close the door. The people who love you notice. They use the words they have. They say you are depressed. They say you are burning out. They say you are isolating, and that the isolating is the thing making it worse. And here is what you must understand before we go any further. They are not wrong. There is real exhaustion in the descent. There is a cost to it, paid in missed calls, worried faces, and work left undone. The surface explanation captures something true. You are tired in a way that sleep does not reach. You have pulled away from the very people who would help. Measured against a life of steady output and steady connection, this looks like a system failing. It looks like a breakdown, and for a long time, perhaps, you have agreed. So you have done what people do with a breakdown. You have tried to climb out of it. You have forced yourself back into the light, back to the messages, back to the table. You have treated the dark as the enemy. As a malfunction to be corrected as fast as possible, reach out, they tell you. Do not let yourself sink. Stay connected. And you have tried. I want you to notice that you have tried. This is not the story of someone who indulges the dark. It is the story of someone who has fought it year after year and lost year after year and concluded that the losing is proof that something in them is broken. But sit with me here, because the explanation everyone offers has a hole in it. And once you see the hole, you cannot unsee it. A breakdown does not keep an appointment. Collapse is not seasonal. When a system genuinely fails, it does not fail on a rhythm, retreat and return. Yet this returns. You have lived through it enough times now to know its shape. It comes. It stays for its span. And then, without your forcing it, the door opens again from the inside. If this were simple pathology, the pattern would not hold so faithfully. Malfunctions are not punctual. There is a difference between something that is failing and something that is doing something. A failing thing degrades. Each cycle leaves it weaker than the last. So ask yourself honestly whether you come back from these descents weaker, or whether underneath the tiredness you come back carrying something you did not have when you went down. Because that is the second hole. A breakdown takes from you and leaves nothing in its place. You come out of genuine collapse with less than you went in with. But watch what actually happens to you. You go into the dark confused, overfull, unable to name the thing pressing on your chest. And you come out of it clear. Something got sorted down there in the quiet. A decision you could not reach in daylight is suddenly made. A truth you had been avoiding is suddenly plain. You did not solve it. It was solved somewhere you could not watch. That is not the signature of collapse. That is the signature of work. And the timing is not random. Notice when the descent arrives. It comes before a threshold, not after a defeat. It comes when you have taken in more than you can hold while still moving. It comes when something in your life is about to change and the surface self has not yet admitted it. The dark does not interrupt your life at random. It arrives precisely when there is something that can only be metabolized away from the light. Here is the move that breaks the surface explanation completely. You cannot be talked out of it. You have tested this more times than you would admit. When you force the light, when you push yourself up and out and back into connection before the work is done, it does not heal you. It makes it worse. The forced brightness is the thing that actually breaks you. The dark is the thing that mends you. A breakdown is something you recover from by returning to function. This is something you recover from only by being allowed to descend. Those are opposite mechanics. They cannot be the same condition wearing two faces. So what you have been calling a breakdown has another name. It is one of the oldest names we have. This is the hermit, not the bitter recluse of the modern imagination, the older figure, the one who walks away from the village lantern in hand, who goes down into the dark on purpose, because there is something down there that the light cannot reach and someone has to go and fetch it. The hermit appears in the tarot as an old figure alone on a mountain holding a single lamp. The Desert Fathers went into the wilderness for exactly this reason. Carl Jung, at the lowest point of his life, deliberately descended into his own unconscious for years and came back with the work that made him. None of them were hiding, they were retrieving. And here the myth touches something you can measure. In Jungian terms, the hermit archetype describes the nigh-dominant mind's need for uninterrupted internal processing. The cave is not a metaphor, it is a description of a cognitive necessity. Introverted intuition does its deepest work below the surface, out of contact, where nothing new can get in. These are not supernatural claims. They are descriptions of how a particular kind of mind metabolizes what it has taken on. You do not go dark because you are broken. You go dark because that is where your kind of mind does the work the world has built no category for. But the hermit carries a shadow, and you should know it, because it is the only real danger here. The gift is the descent and the return. The shadow is the descent without the return. There is a version of this that stops being work and becomes a place to hide. The dark stops being a passage and becomes a place to stay. You go down to retrieve, and then you simply stay, telling yourself the staying is depth. That is the wound inside the gift. The hermit who never climbs back up with his lantern has not gone deep. He has gone missing. The entire meaning of the descent lives in the carrying back. I have watched this pattern for a long time, in others and in myself. The ones who come through it are not the ones who fight the dark hardest. They are the ones who learn to tend it, who go down when it is time, do the work, and bring the lantern back up to where people can see by it. So the next time it comes, and it will come, you do not have to brace against it as though something in you is failing. You can meet it differently. You can recognize the descent for what it is and ask the only question that matters down there. Not how do I get out, but what did I come down here to find? That single change, from resisting the dark to tending it, is the difference between a breakdown and an initiation. The behavior does not change, the meaning of it does, and meaning for someone built like you is everything. If this has landed somewhere it needed to land, then you may already know what comes next. There are 7 Sigma INFJ archetypes, and each one carries a different gift, a different burden, a different mythic responsibility. The link in the description will take you to a free assessment that reveals yours. It takes about 3 minutes. The answer tends to land harder than people expect, and if you want to keep walking these threads with me into the deeper psychology of the Sigma INFJ, into the archetypes the world has forgotten how to name, subscribe. There are far older and stranger things still to uncover. Until next time, find your power, know your myth.